Welcome back to another lesson in the series 5 Foundational Techniques for Rock Drumming. I'm Nate Brown, and this series is brought to you by Drum Magazine and OnlineDrummer.com. In the past 2 lessons, we've been working with what's called eighth beats. So every stroke that we've had has fallen directly in line with the eighth notes on the hi-hat. In this lesson, we're going to explore 16th note phrasing on the bass drum, which means they're not always going to fall directly in line with the hi-hat. They might fall in between. All these techniques in the video lesson series are included in Chart Topping Drum Beats 1, which explore a lot of coordination exercises so you can build your coordination, and as well as hundreds and hundreds of chart topping examples of these techniques used in chart topping songs. So check out this book at OnlineDrummer.com. Also, at this point, when we get into 16th phrasing, you're ready to start chart topping drum fills the 60s through today by my friend Dawn Richardson. And you can also get that at OnlineDrummer.com. Both are available as an instant download as well. Let's look at number 1 in the sheet music. Remember, the 16th note phrasing technique on the bass drum puts bass strokes in between the hi-hat. And for this part of the series, we're just going to keep the snare on 2 and 4, like in lesson 1. So the hand pattern is going to be just like in lesson 1. And the bass strokes, some are going to fall in between. What's called on the E's and U's, because 16th notes are counted a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. That can actually create a pretty cool beat just by putting the 2 and 4. But that's a lot of 16th phrasing on the bass. You don't want to include just a lot of bass drum just to include a lot of bass drum. It should have meaning to the song. Number 1 on the sheet music is actually the groove from Jane Says by Jane's Addiction. I'll play this one for you. Even though everything doesn't line up exactly with the eighth notes, you can still use the vertical technique if you keep in mind that the eighth notes are staying consistent. So let's look at count 1. It's the bass and the hi-hat. Count 2, snare and hi-hat. The and then in between the and the 3, we've got to hit a bass stroke. And a 3. And a 3, E, and 4, and. So take it very slowly. And 2, and 3, E, and 4, and. Pay close attention that you're not speeding up or slowing down your hi-hat when you play those 16th notes. Number 2 on this sheet music includes more bass drum, so 2 kicks in a row. I'll play this one for you. This groove is the groove from Can't You See by the Marshall Tucker Band. Take this slowly. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and. Count 1, hi-hat bass. Count and, hi-hat bass. And then in between the and 3 is another bass. 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2 and. And that groove actually just repeats over and over. 1 and a 2 and. Ba, da, da, da. The rest of the sheet music leaves the bass line empty, and that's just like in the other lessons for you to explore some bass patterns. I'm going to mess around with some 16th note phrasing on the bass drum. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and have fun exploring your own grooves on that sheet music. The next lesson in this series covers 16th note phrasing on the snare drum. See you in the next lesson. Keep drumming.